Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TarHeelIllustrated.com, or if you're watching on our YouTube channel, Tar Heel Illustrated. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and joining me, as he always does, our very own publisher, Andrew Jones. And Andrew, our offseason is officially here. Spring football is officially behind us. And as you can tell by the title, this is the first installment of our Carolina football ISO series that we're going to be running out all throughout the rest of spring, all throughout summer. Going to be doing on a bunch of different guys from the Carolina football team. And as you can tell by the title, we're starting with Tony Grimes today. Before we dive into that, the promo is officially over on our website, TarHeelIllustrated.com, but still a great time to sign up with everything going on. Just $8.33 a month. Get access to our premium boards, access to our premium content. A lot of the stuff that we put in the boards does not go on the front, and you obviously have to be a premium subscriber to access and read. So after the video is done, click the description below. You'll see our website link down there. Head over there and just sign up for $8.33 a month. And I think, trust me when I say this, I think you'll enjoy it, and I think it is definitely worth the investment in terms of all the content that we put up on a daily basis over there. So after the video is gone, go check that out. But AJ, let's dive into Tony Grimes, man. A guy that it's kind of crazy to think a year ago, we were talking a little bit about it off camera. We were up in Virginia Beach talking to him a few weeks before he actually committed to Carolina.
A couple of days.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. And I was telling you, it seems like forever ago that it was, but it was really end of last June. So not even a year ago at this point, but played 317 snaps last season when he should have been a high school senior. Really came along after he got that opportunity in the Wake Forest game towards the end of the year to really flex his muscles and show just how talented he was. And, I think there's a lot of expectations, not only from himself and fans, but from the coaches for Tony Grimes going into this season. And what we've seen from him, I don't think there's really any reason to believe he won't meet those expectations.
The thing I remember so vividly, and you and I talked about it, Adam Friedman was up there too. We were kind of talking a little bit with him about it too, is, we were at that camp, the Game Day Academy camp up in Virginia Beach, and Tony was there, but he didn't participate. He ran a couple of pass routes, I think, and just was kind of there. I did an interview with him, and we took a bunch of pictures, and there were a bunch of other big-time guys there. We won't talk about them now. But I remember when we kind of watched – remember we were up there under that little pavilion, and Tony was out in the field, and we thought, wow, he's put on some weight. He's getting stronger. We didn't know at the time he was going to enroll early. We had heard that was being floated, but we didn't get any confirmation that weekend. And then Dina went up 2 or 3 days later for his commitment. That's when she found out, hey, this might happen. He only needs a credit. He's going to enroll early because there's not going to be because they didn't know at the time whether there was going to be football in the fall in Virginia. And when that announcement came out, then he decided to go ahead and get in to North Carolina. And he said it took him a while to really kind of realize he belonged and he was okay being there. He was a guy that could actually maybe make it work. And I think the turning point was the Wake Forest game when Jay Bateman kind of went to a youth movement. They were getting throttled by Sam Hartman and the Deacons.
Yeah, he was torching them.
And middle of the third quarter, they made a change, went to the younger guys. Conley went in. Murphy started playing more. If you look at the snap counts of a lot of the freshmen on defense, they pick up big time. They got a lot the week before against Duke, but that was a rout. But this was in it because they needed somebody. They needed to make a change. And Grimes played really well. And he said in that game, the first ball thrown his way in the Wake Forest game, he got a PBU. He's like, okay, I could do this. And man, ever since then, he's been doing it. We got to see them 3 times in practice in the spring game this year. Tony Grimes did not look like a guy who should be getting ready for his high school prom. Played 317 snaps last year, I believe, and they were meaningful ones. He played, he started the Notre Dame game. He started at Miami. He started against Texas A&M in the Orange Bowl. That's big time experience, and he played well. I think he had a pick in the Orange Bowl. So watching him this spring, he didn't look like a guy who should still be in high school. He looked like a dude that's been around, and he was really good. Sam Howell told us right before the end of spring practice that the guy that stood out to him, aside from Josh Downs among the receivers, was Antoine Green. But we saw a practice, Jacob, where Tony Grimes wasn't letting Antoine Green get off the snap.
He wasn't.
He was just shutting him down. So Tony Grimes is a phenomenal talent. I fully expect that in a couple of years he'll be in the NFL. I think the staff expects that. And when you look at that cornerback position, when you've also got Connor McMichael, who was the number 53 player in the nation in his class, you got Storm Duck, who Mac Brown has referred to as an NFL guy if healthy a couple of times. Carolina's loaded at that cornerback spot, but I think Grimes has one of those starting corner spots nailed down. It's going to be hard to get him off the field because he's so young and still in very much the developmental stage. Every snap he gets on the field, he's going to get that much better. And oh, by the way, the Dre Bly factor.
Yeah.
Grimes has a little moxie. Now that he's comfortable in the program and he feels like he belongs, we've seen some big time moxie, not as outwardly as Josh Downs might show, but there's a strong confidence and moxie there that you need in a good corner. And he's got it. He's got the length. He's got the speed. He's got the quickness. He's getting stronger. He anticipates well. He's got great vision. He's got terrific hands. And, man, he thinks he belongs out there every snap, no matter who the wide receiver is.
Completely agree, AJ. We're going to keep these kind of short. So I'm going to ask you one last thing before we wrap this one up. What you talked about, some of the things, physique, his length, his athleticism. What about Tony Grimes' game impresses you the most, if you had to pick maybe one thing?
Well, I think it's still a raw game, so his rawness impresses me because we haven't seen him fully develop. Even though he got 15 practices, 13 practices, a walkthrough in the spring game, he's going to get 26 more practices before they go to Virginia Tech. And then he's going to get the season. So ask me that in November, because then we get a chance to see him a year plus in the program, the added weight he's going to put on, the various different defensive or offensive schemes he's going to have to prepare for. He's going to have to go on the road and play in full stadiums. Lane Stadium is going to be insane that night. So how does he play when he can't hear Jeremiah Gemmel communicating? Gemmel's a phenomenal communicator at linebacker. All the kids could hear him last year because they played in front of nobody most of the time. The biggest crowd they played in front of was in Tallahassee. And they didn't do very well that night. It was loud considering what last year was, but next year is going to be completely different. So when he's on that island and he can't hear what Jeremiah is saying, and the crowd's going crazy, and the Hokies are moving the ball, and the Carolina defense is stressed, is that when Grimes steps up and makes a play that could change a possession or change a sequence or even change the game? Great players, NFL players, make game-changing plays in college. So when we see him in that situation, I think we'll be able to judge where he is as a player and where he might eventually be a lot better than we can right now. But as it is, Jacob, the rawness is so intriguing.
Yeah.
I have not seen many guys come in like him in college and what I've covered, and there's been some pretty good players. I covered Dre. My first game was his freshman year, that game at Virginia. He had a pick six that game, and they ended up actually blowing a 17-3 lead, one of the biggest losses in Carolina history. But I saw Dre in his prime at Carolina. I covered that. I'm not going to compare Tony to him right now because we need to see more of him. But I anticipate that scenario that I just presented. I think Tony will handle those very well this season.
Agreed. Good stuff, AJ. I couldn't agree more. Ever since I've met Tony and saw him play in person for the first time to now, I've always been impressed with him and what he's able to do on a football field. So, yeah, if the trajectory he's headed in right now is any indication, like you said, he's definitely going to be a guy that's playing at the next level at some point. That's going to do it for the first episode of our Carolina Football ISO series, though, guys. As always, I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the rest of the series that will be rolling out over the next couple weeks and months. Going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about a lot of players on this team. And as always, guys, head on over to the site, $8.33 a month. Sign up for a premium subscription. Trust me, you won't regret it. Thanks, guys. Like, share, subscribe. See you in the next one.
Thanks.